Oh, and fun fact, Ken taught me this. In Tagalog, you can actually say an entire conversation just using the syllable ba. For example, ba, ba ba, ba ba, ba ba ba, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba,
honey.
ba ba. Well, that was fun. Otherwise, besides the Mindanao area, Cebuano language, as well as the other regional topics.
Okay, you guys are savage.
They even have the only Spanish in Asia, Chavacano, located in Philippines is unique in that over a past has gone through 3 periods that shape their identity.
I love it.
European intervention, the Philippines has had a multitude of early civilizations that built kingdoms and dynasties like the Tondo, Namayan, Nasinan, and the Sulu Sultanate.
Many of these kingdoms had their own indigenous writing systems, such as the Babayan, Buhit, Eskayan, and Kulitan.
Genetically, Filipinos
Kulita, yes, it's Spanish.
Austronesian people group, with their closest cousins being the Micronesians, like the Mariana Islanders, Guam, and Palau.
Although over the years, many people have mixed, and today it is speculated that somewhere around 1/5 or more of the population may have some kind of Chinese ancestry. After the Spanish came in, they adopted many of the customs, traditions, and cultural traits which have Spanish roots. Their own country is named after Spanish King Philip. The biggest trait, though, would be the fact that they're predominantly Catholic, at about 81% of the population adhering to the faith.
The rest are mostly Protestant, with a small
81?
minority in the South Mindanao area.
The Philippines is the largest Christian nation in Asia, 5th largest Christian nation on Earth, and 3rd largest Catholic nation after Brazil and Mexico.
Not
So many
surprised.
holidays and festivals devoted to Catholic themes like All Saints Day, Holy Week, and Easter, and of course, the largest one, Christmas.
The Philippines has the longest Christmas season out of
Okay,
anywhere
who
else.
spelled the Christmas?
Now we're
The
just gonna
R should
rapid
be in
fire
front
list
of
12
I.
fun cultural facts for the Philippines.
Filipinos have a ton of superstitions. For example, whistling at night will turn you into a werewolf.
For formal occasions, you may see Filipinos wearing traditional barongs for men and Maria Clara or mestiza dresses for women.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
There are many other traditional costumes and customs for the other 170 ethnic groups. Too many to cover, but it goes everywhere from feathers,
Yeah.
fibers, hairdresses, tribal tattoos, and so on.
Speaking of which, the Philippines dominates major international beauty pageants.
Oh, yes, we
Grand total
know.
of 15 victories at the Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss International, and Miss Earth competitions.
Basketball and boxing are the most popular sport by far. They have the oldest basketball league in Asia and the 2nd oldest in the world after the United States. And come on, we all know Pacquiao.
The Philippines
Oh, yes,
is the leading nation
Pacquiao.
to train and export nurses abroad.
Yes.
It's been said at one point, every Filipino has their should I just drop everything and become a nurse moment in their life crisis.
That's a fact.
Oh.
I've had those. And the word balikbayan means returner or
Yes,
returning
balik-
family. It is used
come
when
back,
someone
yes.
comes back from expat work abroad.
You might hear the honorific title of po or opo for elders, and a lot of people often raise the backs of the hands of their elders to their forehead as a sign of respect and say, bless.
In the Philippines, you have your name, and you have your Pinoy nickname, and they have really weird and creative. Pepsi,
Africa
Big
too,
Ball,
they have
Billy Boy,
that.
Pinky, Bum Bum, and
Yes.
Every Filipino on every island in every region can tell you Filipinos are obsessed with karaoke. The first karaoke machine was actually patented by a Filipino, Roberto Del
I know
Rosario.
about this
You know,
from
some
the
Japanese
other-
dude invented it, but he patented it.
Obviously, that means music is a big deal in the
Thank God he
Besides
did.
taking modern cues from American pop, they also have traditional style. Instruments include things like gudyapi, kilitang, timbal, kubing, and togali.
In addition, there are many different
Tsugali.
styles of dance, but the most famous one considered the national dance is tinikling, a dance done
How does
between two
Tsugali
pairs of
sound
perpendicular
sexy?
bamboo poles that are clapped together.
Even
as
Tagalog
percussion
sounds-
poles, and the dancers
I'm
must
like,
weave their feet in and out of
Tagalog.
the spaces before getting hit or tripped.
Now, on a bit of a more objective note, we do have to talk about some of the controversies.
The Philippines is beautiful, but if you've been keeping up with current events, they do have their fair share of issues that have made headlines.
Oh.
Don't sugarcoat everything here.
Human trafficking, whether in the sex industry, slavery, or organ smuggling, has been a problem in certain areas. And even though anti-trafficking acts have been passed by the government, enforcement has not always been on par.
The drug trade has also been a major inconvenience for decades, affecting millions of people in the country. This has led to the new controversial laws instituted by President Duarte, which encouraged the public to seek bounty in exchange for hunting down drug pushers. Many
that's
died in
great.
the process.
And finally, you have the Moro conflict, an insurgency in the predominantly Muslim Mindanao region, which sought to take parts of eastern Malaysia and break away through conflict. The fight has been going on for nearly half a century, and now it's just ending at the turn of the 21st century.
Wow.
Kind of.
For what it's worth though, in the Philippines, everyone is family at the end. You don't have to be related to anyone to call someone ate or kuya. There's even a word, bayanihan, which means something like helping one another through community spirit without expecting anything in return. In any case, we gotta finish off this segment with History.
Austronesians.
Tribal kingdoms and sultanates.
This guy came to the islands.
Catholicism comes in.
Lapu-Lapu and Magellan dies in battle.
5 Spanish dudes followed through.
They finally become a colony of Spain.
The galleon trade.
British Philippines.
And then back to Spain. The Treaty of Paris.
Philippine Revolution.
The Spanish-American War.
First Philippine Republic. Philippine-American War.
American occupation.
World War II. Japan invades.
American pushes them back.
Finally, Philippine independence.
Ferdinand Marcos turns from president to
Oh, the
dictator.
independence was
Martial law.
This guy
1946.
gets killed because he was against the regime.
People Power Revolution in 1986.
Growth from agricultural society to an industrial one.
And here we are today. And now we finish off with
Damn.
notable famous people condensed. Some famous people you guys, the Pinoy geography suggested we mention in this episode include
Lapu-Lapu.
Jose Rizal, these 2 saints,
Oh,
Melchora Aquino.
Manuel L. Quezon,
Lacan Dura. Josefa Llanes Escoda. And Vicente Lim.
Carlos Peña Romulo,
And all the Miss Universe winners. And there's a ton of Americans
Oh
with
my
Filipino or
God.
partial Filipino descent.
all these people
Thanks,
wanted to
bunch of American
just.
Filipinos. Those 2 get along pretty tight.
We'll explain more on how that happened in... Because of the long history in the Philippines being colonized by 2 major Western powerhouses,
Yeah.
it would make sense that it would have ties with the outside world in many different ways.
For friends, the Philippines is generally close with all the ASEAN nations and does great business with them, particularly Indonesia and Malaysia, their closest neighbors.
The Marshall
yes.
Islands, Palau, and the federal states of Micronesia are all cousin countries, many of which have Filipino migrants in them, and they all share the same history of being former U.S. territories and U.S. influenced states.
Of course, Spain will always be in the back of their minds as the former colonizer that they gained much influence from. Although Filipinos are not considered Latino, the Spanish and many Latin Americans kind of see them as like the adopted Asians that totally fit in their family. It's like, come on, you're Catholic, you eat flan, every 5th word
Like
you speak
English,
Spanish, you're basically one of us.
Interestingly, the relationship with Mexico has historically been
I
always
love-
strong. The Philippines was ruled under a Mexico-based viceroyalty of New Spain. The Manila galleons were Spanish trading ships, which for 2.5 centuries linked the Philippines with Mexico across the Pacific Ocean, making 1 or 2 round-trip voyages per year between the ports of Acapulco and Manila. And Mexican
Oh my
traditions were
God.
brought in, like the Day of the Dead and Champorado.
So cold. When I lost control.
When it comes to their best friends, however, most Filipinos would probably say, even though
Yeah, you can
colonial
put them
years were a
as an
little
Asian and you cannot.
ultimately,
That's
the
why
USA
you can
and
do
South
any.
Korea.
South Korea was one of their closest best friends.
Asian and Pacific Islanders, it makes a lot of
Really
sense.
bonded with them after the Japanese occupation years, and they supported each other diplomatically.
Koreans are the top #1 tourist demographic that visit the Philippines. Koreans kind of admire the fact that even though they were both influenced by the US, Filipinos speak better English, whereas Filipinos practically obsess over Korean products and media.
Ah, us.
That's why we're in it.
For the USA, ties were close
Not
ever
so
since they
cute.
became their colony in 1898. The US also had the largest number of overseas Filipinos at over 4 million, most of whom live on the West Coast states like Hawaii and California. They are one of the oldest Asian partners of the US. They have a mutual defense treaty, and they are the largest export partner and 2nd largest import after China.
American pop
Oh,
culture dominates much of the youth influence. Hollywood studios love filming there, and Gallup polls have shown that the USA is favored on average by over 90% of the people asked, making it one of the most pro-American countries on the planet. And Ken, you take the conclusion.
In conclusion, if you enter a room full of Asians, you definitely know who the Filipinos are. While everyone's so uptight, we're the ones singing karaoke and somersaulting. You can just
yeah,
feel the
like
energy.
hey.
There's a touch of Latin flavor with American pop undertones. But in the end, no matter what island, you're immediately considered part of the Pinoy family.
Ken, you're one of my best friends. I love you, man. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. Stay tuned.
I love it.
Coming up next.
Honey, okay, I love this. Whew. What do you guys think? I didn't know what to expect. Oh my god, this is so eye-opening. You know what? I have to check the other one. I'm sorry, this is just too good. I'll see you guys in the next one. It's too good. Oh, you know. Okay, now it makes a lot of sense because I was able to like, oh, I'm Filipino American. I'm like, oh, you know, now I know why. Okay, now.